Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nongwin.
I'm Alec Argudo.
I'm Nick Reyna.
And I'm Jessica Munoz.
Okay, so thank you so much for being here today. Before we start the presentation, I want to ask the audience, how many of you here today would like to have an internship or a job offer at your dream company before you graduate? I'm really glad to see that. That's a majority of you. Well, I want to assure you that you are at the right spot. So today, we present GEICO to come up with this proposal. We're going to come up with a plan which will increase the number of UT Dallas students successfully obtain a scholarship, an internship, and a job offer upon their graduation. So here's the agenda for today. First, we're going to talk about why GEICO, our company, would like to step in and help UT Dallas institution. And we're going to talk about the current Career Expo model at UT Dallas. Next, and we're going to discuss about some of the improvement that we see that can be improved to become higher UT Dallas Career Expo. Later on, my teammate going to mention about the project goal, the proposal, the action plan, and the budget breakdown. So before we start, I'm going to share with you this little videos.
After college, I had no idea what I wanted to do.
I imagined myself going into a corporate position, yes. Insurance, no.
I had absolutely no idea that I was going to work for an insurance company.
I did not think I would end up in insurance.
But it was much bigger than I could ever imagine.
That's the difference, is you're able to make a huge impact.
And if you work hard, the opportunities are endless.
And the great thing is that whatever skill set you have, we have a place for you at our company.
The one thing current graduates should know about GEICO is that they are willing.
Okay, so like you saw earlier in the videos, you can see that education is one of the biggest mission of GEICO. That's one of the reasons why we donate approximately $100,000 annually to either scholarship, school foundation, or other local project in school district. And recently, just last fall, 2 of the UT Dallas students from the School of Management just won their GEICO Achievement Award for their outstanding academic and extracurricular activities. GEICO strongly believes that by investing into their education, we're investing into the future of America. So next, why UT Dallas, you would ask. So one of the fun facts is that all 4 of us here today actually UT Dallas alumni, and that's one of the reasons why we want to come back to our alma mater to initiate this project. Because throughout our years at this institution, we receive an outstanding and high quality of education. However, we did attend the Career Expo at our school, and we see there are a lot of room for improvement. That's why we want to come back and initiate this project, and hopefully with the success of this project, we can spread and implement this project to other campuses around Texas State. And another reason is that, like you know, recently a lot of big corporations and businesses just moved to Dallas-Fort Worth area. Therefore, UT Dallas has become one of the main institutions that produce a future workforce for these companies. And next, I'm going to hand over to Alex.
So, I know what you're thinking. We've already got a Career Expo. Why do we need a better one? Well, our Career Expo isn't perfect. We've got about 24,000 students enrolled here at UT Dallas, and only 4,000 actually go to the Career Expo. On top of that, we try and shove those 4,000 students and all the companies that attend into the visitor's atrium. Now, I don't know if you've gone there, but it can be rather difficult to move around when you've got 1,000 other students trying to get around you. You're trying to talk, but so is everybody else. It's hard to hear people. It's hard to ask the questions you want to ask and talk the way you want to talk to the employers. And on top of that, there's some inconsistencies in the quality of students that go. Some students know what to wear, they know how to act, they know good questions to ask the employers there, and some of them don't. And that can be a problem with the employers. You know, they don't know if the students are serious about finding a job or they're just going because they had to go.
That being said, there have been a couple improvements in the years that we've been gone at GEICO. Coming back, there have been new services that allow students better access to jobs, internships, on-campus interviews, and even volunteer work. The problem is that is only through JSOM. We are here for UT Dallas, which is why we believe it is time to make higher JSOM into higher UT Dallas.
So we need to set up some goals on how we want to improve the Career Expo. We want to have 40% of the total enrolled students at UTD going to our new Career Expo. We want 50% of those students that go to walk out with something meaningful, like an interview, a job opportunity, or an internship opportunity. We would like 90% of the students to be prepared in some way before they go to the internship, whether that's attending a workshop at the Career Center or by downloading the app that I'll talk about in a minute and reading through some helpful tips on what to say or what to wear, things like that. We'd like to establish a $30,000 scholarship that'll help 6 lucky students get through college and hit the goals. Now, how are we going to achieve these goals? Well, we're going to have to move it to a new location. As I said before, the visitor's atrium is just too small. We'd like to move it to specifically this part of the JSOM building. That way we can divide the hallways by specific majors and get the employers in their own classrooms. That'll allow people to walk by through the hallways and not interfere with the people trying to talk to the employers in their classrooms. We'd also like to have some more social media and technology interactions. So, as I'll talk about in just a minute about the app, we'd like a way for the students to be able to connect to the LinkedIn of their recruiters so that after they're done talking, they can connect with them on LinkedIn or social media and put in a good word or say, thank you for talking to me, things like that. So, be along the way to that. All right, so we've got our basic functionalities, a schedule of what's going on, the employers that are going, a map of the event, things like that. All things you would need to know, and most of us have our smartphones, iPhone and Android. You can get it on either. But so we can take a lot of this from the existing UTD app for the Career Expo, but we have to add some stuff. One of those is a search feature. Say you want to search for a specific company, say Geico. You need to know what room they're in, where exactly that room is located, what recruiters are going to be there, and what jobs they have. Additionally, you can click on that and see some more information about Geico and find the LinkedIn profiles, all of that. Also, we would like to charge a cover fee since we will be serving a meal at this event. So we use an option to buy a ticket directly on the app. Handing it over to Jessica.
Thank you, Alec. So, Chamber, we have talked a lot about what the issues have been with the previous Career Expo and what we're going to do to improve it. But how are we actually going to advertise and market this to you? Well, we're going to start off by displaying our agenda to you and showing you what you will actually be helping us fund. So as you can see, one of the biggest differences would be in the dinner and the benefit concert that we would be having in the expo. So this has not previously been done in our UT Dallas Expo before, and we would really love to give it a fun aspect, something that students will actually want to go to. So that's what the dinner and the concert will be implementing. Now, how are we going to market this to our biggest customers, which would be the actual UTD students, you ask? Well, we are going to use resources that are already readily available to these students, which would be the Radio UTD, the school radio, Mercury, which is the school newspaper, and then also AMP, which is a student magazine, as well as also getting the university's permission to publicly display our agenda on the UTD homepage. And we will also display flyers and have multiple flyers displayed on the bulletin boards in JSON and the other buildings in UT Dallas. JSON alone has more than 10 bulletin boards where we could advertise and display, as well as having a bunch of signs all around campus to alert the students. We will also really want to hit social media with the ground running and make sure that we're advertising on Facebook, on Twitter. We even want to also include a Snapchat filter for the day of the expo so that you can show all your friends what you're doing and all the new recruiters that you're meeting as well in this new Career Expo. We really love the fact that the students will have a more intimate one-on-one conversation with the recruiters instead of not being able to hear one another and being able to ask for that contact information. With the app that Alec will be implementing as well, you can connect to that company's LinkedIn profile to do research. So how we'll recruit for the employers will be by the employers who have previous scholarships and who have also visited campuses before. Now I'm going to pass it to my colleague to talk about the budget.
Thank you. So the real question is, how much is this going to cost? The whole point of why we're here to ask for $21,000 for the startup of this Career Expo. That will be $16,000 for catering and $5,000 for the application. Setup, preparation, and teardown will not cost anything, considering we'll be using the facilities on campus as well as the president's office tables and the JSOM tables for, again, setup where all the food will be, as well as roping and common card readers, just so we can keep track of everyone that is attended. We will also be charging either $250 or $450 for each group coming, depending on if they're for-profit or non-profit organizations, as well as requesting donations. All proceeds, including the donations, will either go towards the reserve fund for future career expos or through the scholarship that, again, so far we're only looking at $30,000. That is the bare minimum of scholarship that we hope to give out. Excuse me. At the actual numbers, we're looking at $15,000 for catering. That still leaves $1,000 that we have yet to use. And for that $5,000 for the application, that does sound kind of pricey. That would be if you require the proper hardware, software, as well as maintenance. We assume that's the serendipitous grouping with UTD and GEICO, using their technicians as well as willing technicians at UTD. This app can cost little to nothing. So that's even more money that we can use out of this budget for food if the demand increases. Excuse me. This is why we believe that increasing higher JSOM to higher UT Dallas will expand the availability to all students. We hope that this will be a self-sustaining career expo, considering this reserve fund will start off with $17,000, which already covers food for the next semester. Each school will be progressing as well as the career fair, so it's only going to get better. The point of college is to prepare yourself for the workforce, and the whole point of that is one of the key aspects of it being career expos, which is why we at GEICO are excited to start increasing attendance, increasing job offerings, and increasing available scholarship to UT Dallas students. Thank you all so much.
Okay, that was 13 minutes. Questions?
As GEICO being a company that currently goes to career expos, how is it that if they sponsor the career expo, is that going to benefit them any way directly, or do you have favoritism over other companies?
We would be using, just because that $21,000, that's going to be the full amount. If the chamber was to be doing half of that, we would be covering the other half of the expenses. That is why GEICO is taking this on, just because we understand that bringing in a new event and asking the school to pay for it is kind of something that they might be hesitant to. That's why we want to offer the supplies. All we need is the space.
I mean, of course GEICO gets their name on the event, but we don't want to play favorites. We want the best, most educated students we can find for as many companies as we find. Even if we can't hire them for GEICO, they could work somewhere else, get the skill sets we need, maybe work for GEICO, paper hunt.
Also, we have hired a lot of alumni from UT Dallas, and we have a high record of excellent, skillful, not only knowledgeable, was really hardworking student from this institution. That's why we want to promote further the goodwill into other companies around the area.
Are there any other questions?
Okay, on the budget side, you're asking for $21,000, I think I saw, and you're going to provide $30,000 in scholarships.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that right?
Yes, sir. So it is, again, it's going to be $250 for each nonprofit organization to attend the fair, and $450 for each standard profit or corporation. With that, usually there's around 80 companies, 10% being nonprofit and 90% being for-profit. That leaves us with around $36,000 in revenue. With that, that's not including the $5 student fee that will be applied to each student, which again, that will allow them access to the entire meal as well as the fair. That's just going to be that additional amount that we will use just in case there isn't enough organizations or there isn't enough donations. So that is where those numbers are coming from: the student fee, the corporation fees, and the donations.
I just didn't see that in your budget. The only thing I saw in the budget was maybe some lump thing, $47,550, is that right?
Yes, sir.
That's the deal, $47,550.
That is the total revenue already minus the $21,000 for expenses.
Okay. Okay, great. Give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Please go on.